Hey there, kids. Well, let me see. Well, I'm ripping Larry today. There he is. Let's talk about Larry. All right. Well, I have been thinking for a little while. One thing I wanted to do outside, the ongoing murderers row thing, which, just to clarify, is not about movies about murder. It's just the movies that I think are incredible. Well, outside the ones I've already covered, the ones I think are incredible and the ones I think have knocked it out of the park. This I've been wanting to do the greats, the classics, the universal monsters. And when I say that, I'm not necessarily trying to nail down the universal movies specifically, but uh, they certainly play into it. Those are the classic movie monsters. And man, I always had a certain affectation with the Wolfman. With werewolves in general, but specifically with Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman, and particularly just the Wolfman, Larry Talbot. That particular character, because god damn, that's a great character, and every werewolf, most werewolves, the vast majority of werewolves being portrayed in the movies, kind of go back to owing it all to Larry. The whole thing about this poor doomed bastard who, by sheer happenstance, gets bitten by this animal out in the forest or whatever, and kind of ends up getting consumed by this disease, and they're just kind of maybe a good guy, generally speaking. They're basically, I don't know if they're even heroic characters, but they kind of become heroic characters because they're dealing with this monstrous transformation. And Lon Chaney Jr. in any of the movies he's in, his character, well, presto, there's my werecat. What, buddy? It's all right. Daddy's talking right now. Uh, Larry Talbot is the character that's kind of like the quarterback for that, and he always has been. I mean, did anyone see that one with Del Toro? I mean, I've heard up and down things about it, mostly down, and I mean, Chaney's a hell of an act to follow up on. I'm sure the effects are good and everything else, but you know, that's a hell of a character to live up to. Just Larry Talbot is one of the great movie characters. Um, and I side note, funny side note that's also kind of like plug. I wrote this short story called well, never mind the name of it right now, but this kind of science fiction sort of story I did takes place a good way into the future, and you don't need to know a lot about the plot, except it takes place in kind of a weird, broken down dystopian future, and the main character slash narrator is describes himself as a great cineast, and I'm not even going to go into what that entails in this day and age, but he considers himself a big time cineast, and he says he has all the classics, and the classic range from The Exorcist to this or that movie, and just a number of fairly great movies to things like Ghostbusters, and then kind of modern kind of movies like that. And then off to the side, it'll be like weird YouTube videos. The big one he mentions is David Goes to the Dentist. Anybody remember that one? It's like the kid who's all doped up from oral surgery or whatever. His dad's driving him home, and he's all buggy in the car. He goes, at one point, he stands up straight in the car and just goes, yeah! That's one of his favorite movies. And, he says the Wolfman, but not any of those cheap knockoffs or the crap that they're putting out now. I like the old classic with Del Toro, and so he kind of puts a spin on. We kind of put a spin on that. Nobody remembers Lon Chaney Jr., but they remember Benicio del Toro. Just to make you weep for the future. Maybe that'll be out in a book soon. I'm not sure. I'll let you know. But anyway, regardless, the Wolfman to me is like one of the greatest characters. As far as like werewolves beyond that go, I like a lot of the other ones. I like The Howling. I like American Werewolf in London, and I even like Wolfin. I thought Wolfin was a pretty good flick. Kind of going beyond that, yeah, I'm sure someone's done something good. I'm pretty sure they have. I may have even seen one or two things. A lot of ones, a lot of movies, like Howling 2. Your sister's a werewolf. I love that one. That cracks me the hell up. I think that is just like the most fun. It makes me laugh. And what's that? Werewolf or Warwolf. This is absolutely fascinating. I love that one. That makes me laugh. That is I don't even really consider Howling 2 a bad movie. I mean, I know a lot of people do, and I get it, but I just consider it a good. When people talk about guilty pleasures, I don't have guilty pleasures. Werewolf is a bad movie, and it's a bad movie that succeeds. I need to do something with bad movies at some point. I have kind of criteria for bad movies. I don't believe in so bad it's good movies. I don't believe in guilty pleasures or anything like that. I just kind of judge things on my own level. But Larry Talbot is the GOAT. That's all there is to it. Just a great, tragic, kind of haunted character who's always looking to try to stop himself somehow. They keep killing the poor bastard, but he keeps somehow coming back and fighting other monsters. And in a lot of ways, in the later movies, the character gets diminished, mainly because he's in with all these other characters. Frankenstein or Dracula or Igor or whoever else, Abbott and Costello. I mean, he even gets shine a little bit in that, but I mean, straight up, he's kind of diminished as opposed to that first brilliant movie from 1941 with Claude Rains, and as it was like his father or his uncle or something, and just Bela Lugosi playing the gypsy, but yeah, we're supposed to say Roma now, right? Yeah, sorry, I'm still stuck in that old movie where they're all riding around in wagons and wearing kerchiefs. That's not a fight I'm willing to go to a hill and die on, folks. Sorry. But yeah, Bela Lugosi as the unfortunate werewolf who passes on the curse. And, man, that's Stone Cold classic, man. Anyway, hats off to Larry, hats off to Lon Chaney Jr., and, fucking A, nothing but love, man.